Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dennis Mariano. We had a seminar today that we were supposed to have a guest speaker and we had to change our schedule. So what we're doing now is I'm actually doing this and doing a Q&A about holistic chiropractic care. So I'd like to answer a couple of questions for you guys. And my purpose really of doing these seminars is to inspire people. You know what? Within the last several months, several years, we've lost several of my colleagues at a young age, and we've had a cousin that was 24 years old that passed on maybe 2 years ago, and it became apparent to me that tomorrow is not promised with regard to how long we're going to be here on Earth. So my purpose is to try to share with you as much as possible the principles of health and life and healing, not because we need anything from you, because we want everything for you. And my hope is that I live for a long time. I could be 90, 95, 100 years old, see the life change, my kids have grandchildren. But what I want to do tonight is share with you my heart and also how much we care about people that are suffering, and to give them an opportunity to know that there are things out there that you can do that are natural, that can help you and not harm you at the same time. So what I'd like to start with today is I'm going to start with the basics with regard to what holistic chiropractic care is. And those of you that want to have any questions, just ask them and I can see them online here and would like to answer those for you. So let's get to the basics, and those of you, my colleagues that are chiropractors, bear with me because this is going to be a review for you. The question I have, number one, is what is the purpose of holistic chiropractic? So think about most people. What do most people think about chiropractic, right? They usually think, oh, chiropractic is for pain syndromes. They think it's for back pain, neck pain, or other pain syndromes. And a lot of people want to try doing things naturally, so without drugs or surgery, and they want to do something natural. And you know what? That's okay because it's your birthright to want to be able to do that. But let me give you the basics of what chiropractic really is. Let's get to the basics before we even explain what holistic means. So the premise of chiropractic, first of all, most people don't even know that the first chiropractic patient didn't have a pain syndrome. According to history, the first chiropractic patient's name was Harvey Lillard. Harvey was a custodian whose hearing had diminished over the last 17 years because he felt a pop in his spine, and over the last 17 years it began to diminish in function and he started losing his hearing. He was practically deaf. Hard of hearing. So then what happens is that Dr. Palmer, who was a magnetic healer at that time, who was very well versed in anatomy, he found the vertebrae in the part of his spine, he adjusted it, and within 3 days, according to history, Harvey Lillard regained his hearing. So chiropractic was never about pain syndromes. It was really about allowing your body to restore functions so it can function the way it's supposed to, and that whether it's hearing or any other condition. And why is that? Because if you look at the way the body works, is that, you know, this is your spine, and then these are the vertebrae, and these are the nerves that exit from those vertebrae. Your brain sits up here. Now, if these vertebrae begin to get pinched, then the function of that nerve will begin to diminish. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think the 3 functions of the nervous system are? So number one, it's going to be control muscle contraction, right? So if you have a nerve that's being pinched, that can actually create muscle contraction, and you could possibly feel a spasm or a pain. Now that's only about 45% of the equation. The other 45%, what do you think the nerve controls? What do you see here? That's exactly right. These are the organs. So here's the thing that's a problem, because the nerves that control your organs are autonomic, which means they're not sensory. When something's not sensory, you can't feel it. Now, most of us know we have pancreas, we have a spleen, we have a stomach. Unless that hurts, you really can't feel those. The prostate, the colon, All these are controlled through autonomic system. So the problem is, when you have these vertebrae that are misaligned and they start pinching those, the body then will begin to malfunction, but you don't know it. And that's a big deal. Because think about this, right? A lot of times by the time you get to be age 40 or 50, as a man, what did the doctors tell you to check? Right? They say check your colon, check your prostate. Now, nobody told them that it's not well known that the vertebrae that control those areas, the nerves that control those areas, are in your low back. Now think about that. What is the first thing you do when you first start going to school? You sit. Do you think sitting is good for your spine? No. It starts to actually distort the nerve supply to those areas of the body, and now it's beginning to diminish. And then now you go to school, you go home, you're sitting down from school, and you're doing homework, and then you have sports activities. So the spine then becomes distorted, and this misalignments occur even when you're younger. It affects the growth plates, and we begin to have chronic issues. Again, the traditional model is that, hey, by the time you get 40, 50 years old, take a look at the colon and the prostate. In the meantime, you've had problems with these areas for 40, 50 years. Of course, what are you going to expect? You're going to have some pathology in the area. So the whole purpose of chiropractic, it's not to affect necessarily pain syndromes, but to make sure that the organs are functioning properly because the body is in proper alignment. So another thing that we need to be understanding is, chiropractic is really all about health. Now, what is holistic care? Everybody always wants to know, well, what's holistic chiropractic, or how's that different? So we already understood that it's the structural component of the body is important because it controls your whole overall body function. Now, if you look on this chart behind here, you can see that the structure is important, but there are other factors too. We have the emotions, we have biochemistry, and toxicity. So what we do in our practice is we also address the biochemistry. Now, a lot of people know that our earth is very toxic. I mean, you don't even have to question how toxic it is. Think about your water, think about your air, think about the foods that we eat, what are they contaminated with, think about the hormones that are given to animals and the antibiotics. So everything we're eating is contaminated. So when this happens, your body becomes sick because all the foods that you're eating are unhealthy for you. So what would we do? So in our case, we do what's called science-based nutrition. And what that is we actually take blood work, we send you to a lab, and the way we read the blood work is different than your traditional model. So the traditional model will look at your blood work and compare it to, let's say, to this range. And this range is what's called the clinical range. The clinical range means that you're in the average. Let me ask you a question. If you take a population, the average population, is the average population healthy, or are they mostly unhealthy people? So if you compare yourself to an average, that means you're comparing yourself to people that are not necessarily healthy. So rather than trying to be average, and actually we're going to have a little poem from Dr. Spencer talking about average tonight before we close in a few minutes, that average means not necessarily healthy. So in science-based nutrition, what we do is we put you here on the healthy range. Wouldn't you rather be in the healthy range rather than in the average range? I mean, who wants to have an average marriage, right? Do you want to have an average marriage? Do you want to have a marriage that's amazing, right? So think about that too. Do you want an average car, or do you want a nice car? Do you want an average house? Do you want an average relationship with your children? Do you want an average relationship with your God, with the person, the creator of this universe? Do you want that relationship to be average? So why would you want to live average? So what we're trying to do in science-based nutrition is make sure when we look at the biochemistry, we look at your cholesterol, the thyroid, we look at the kidneys and the liver, the blood, and see how the body is functioning. So this way we can put your body, instead of here on a clinical range, we put you on a high level of health. So that's the way we address the biochemistry. And obviously with that we help you with nutritional protocols as well, and we also help you make sure you change your diet and get rid of toxicity that's actually creating sickness in your body. On top of that, to address the toxicity, what we do is we do two things. We actually can do hair analysis, and the hair analysis will reveal to you if there's any heavy metals in the body. And we're finding a lot of heavy metals with regard to aluminum, mercury, we have copper in there, we have lead, we're finding out. We have a 4-year-old right now we're taking care of whose teeth are rotting away very rapidly. And when we did the hair analysis, exactly we found lead, mercury, and aluminum in the body. So we're trying to then help that body naturally through a protocol that we use to chelate those out. Also, what we can also do is we can actually do what's called the urinalysis, a urine toxic challenge. And what we do is we evaluate then if your body has heavy metals and if it's coming out through the urine or not. And if it is not coming out, we can do a chelating agent and evaluate to see if your body has poisons that need to come out. And we have a protocol to help that as well. So the last thing that we do to complete that whole protocol is the emotional component. And if you look up here, it says, I don't know if you can see that, it's the emotional component. So the chart that we use for that is actually called NET. So let me pull this from behind me here. So this is a chart, and you can see here that, for example, the emotions that are associated with the liver and gallbladder are anger, resentment, frustration. Can you see that? All these emotions can actually be stuck in these organs. And the reason why I learned this is because if you look up here, see if we can see this. See what that says? It says recurrent subluxations. So this means that in the early part of my practice, I would keep adjusting these parts of the spine, and they would continue to come back. So I became really frustrated, and until I found the neuroemotional technique, then we were able to then address those subluxations, and the body would begin to hold the adjustments better. So that's how we take care of people. Here's another thing that's important. When you do these things, a lot of times when you're taught these things in school, you just start doing them because you have like a cookie cutter approach. What we do in our practice is called muscle testing. So we actually have a seminar on that coming up on July 11th. If you want to tune in for that, if you want to come in here too in person. The muscle testing gives you a priority. And what that does is you actually use a person's deltoid muscle to evaluate what the body's doing. So now when we evaluate that, then everybody then gets an opportunity to have their body evaluated properly in such a way that it's very unique to you. If you have any questions, by the way, just go ahead and type them in and I can answer those for you. Let me see, Jay Malik is giving me a hard time, so we'll just ignore him. Okay, good. So, purpose of chiropractic. Another one is how holistic care is different. So, how does holistic care work with traditional? So actually, one of my patients asked me today, how does holistic care work with traditional treatment, right? So, how does holistic care work? Traditional model of crisis care, basically, I liken that to people that are firemen, right? Think about this. Let's say there's something wrong with your house and it's on fire, so you call the firemen. They only have 3 tools. Think about what those tools are. The one tool they have is what? They have ladders, correct? So they can climb up and help you save your life. And also, they have axes, and they also have water. Now, what is the purpose of the fire people? They're there to help you save your life. And that's a very noble thing. The whole purpose is 2 things: to make sure you don't die and make sure that to save your life. So that is how I compare the traditional model of crisis care to how they help us with regard to our health. If you have a crisis situation where you have an accident, you have a brain bleed, you have a stroke, you have a heart attack, The whole purpose of traditional model of acute care is to save your life. Now, to save your life, then, it's a good thing. However, that's really not what healthcare is about. Because think about this. If the fireman came into your house, let's say, and you just brought a new couch, right? You bought a new couch, it's $10,000. Would they really care that you bought that new couch, or do they just trample over it and wet it just so they can save your life? And that's really what they're there to do, to help you save your life. Now, once the emergency is over, who do you call back? Do you call the fireman back in? No, you call the contractor in, because what does the contractor do? They're going to build your shelves, they're going to repair everything, and this way your home is then repaired. What tools do they have? They don't have axes and water or ladders. They have tools that will actually build something in your body, in your home, I mean. So the analysis, the comparison then is that traditional model of healthcare, which really you should really call it crisis care, because it's not really healthcare, because you're not really making somebody healthy by saving their life, you're just saving their life, which is still an important thing. But holistic care is to build your health. And one of my mentors is Dr. Jeff Spencer, and the one thing he's always told me is that you don't want to just make your body not be in pain, but you also want to build health. And he asked me, he goes, well, when do you build your health? When you're still healthy. You know? So you don't build your health when it's already too late. Sometimes you can't unboil a boiled egg. So therefore, you build your health when you're still healthy, and that happens gradually with persistence over time. So Tracy Merkel asked, how do you know your supplements are effective? And that's exactly what science-based nutrition excels in, is because we do testing. Because you can be taking nutrients assuming because somebody told you, or your doctor told you, or you read it somewhere online and you're supposed to be taking. How do you really know if it's working? So a good way to do it is to evaluate by doing follow-up tests. You can see the difference before you take the nutrients by doing a blood test, and then you take the nutrients and 2 months later, or however long it takes, depending how serious your situation is, to reevaluate again. And then this way, the test will show you objectively if what you're doing is working, if your organs are getting healthier, if your blood's getting healthier, if your diet that you're doing is changing what needs to be done. And the one thing I love about science-based nutrition is because, you know, they really, we belong to a group of doctors that support each other, and we share each other's knowledge, and we share, you know, clinical information so that we can really help patients naturally without putting them in danger. So the question is, again, how can traditional care help with dovetail with holistic care? That's the whole important thing. If you want to really be healthy, you can't only engage in crisis care all the time, because most of life, if you think about it, it's not really crisis, right? It's actually more day-to-day mundane things. So we can work with people that are under medical care and traditional care. The whole purpose is different. We have a different worldview. We're not just here to make sure you're not sick. We want to be sure that you're healthy. And the model we use is basically, again, the physical, emotional, chemical, and nutritional. So it looks like we don't have any other questions here. Hi, Stan. Hi, Tracy. Saying hi to you guys. Hey, Jay, you're still there. And Kelly, thank you for watching. My idol, Kelly, there. And Charmaine from Daly City there, California. Hello, and thank you for watching here. So our next seminar in July 11th is going to be, I think this is backwards, right? Because I have my camera the other way. I'll have to do that differently next time. But it's going to be Let Your Body Be Your Guide, How to Muscle Test. And that's really intriguing because muscle testing is one of the best tools that we have for our practice. And it seems very esoteric. And so we teach our patients how to introduce them to that, to understand the mechanics and the science behind it, so it's not so foreign to them. Because in our practice, when we do chiropractic adjustments, we use muscle testing to evaluate where those subluxation patterns are. So we have any other questions, hi Nita, hi Nat from the Philippines there, saying hi, watching. I wonder what time it is over there. It's like early in the morning. Let me see who else is watching us here. Let's see. Hi, Tad sir. Say hi to Matthew. And if you have any other questions, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes. Okay, so Jay Malik saying, could you compare your nutritional supplements to medicines? Well, medicines, it's a really great question, Jay. Jay's an amazing man, very smart man. So what medicines do, I took a seminar one time from Dr. Brownstein. He's a thyroid specialist. He used to be in a traditional medical model, and he became holistic. And he said, medicines do two things. And again, you need to understand something. We're not here to say something is bad or good. We're here to basically reveal to you what things do and to explain to you. So listen, drugs do two things, right? Number one, it either blocks a receptor in your body so it gets an effect. For example, blocking a receptor would be an antihistamine. So an antihistamine does what? If your body is reacting, it releases histamines because it feels like it's being attacked. It's a protective mechanism. So an antihistamine, a drug, will then go into the receptor where the histamine would normally go, and block that receptor. So now the histamine can't dock and do its job of inflaming your body. So the drug then will actually block the receptor. And the number two thing it does, it actually poisons an enzyme. If you have an enzyme in your body that the body wants to react to, let's say for high blood pressure in the kidneys, let's say. So what the drugs will do, the purpose is to lower the blood pressure. It will block an enzyme. So this way, it'll poison an enzyme in such a way that the body can't. It will create an outcome in the body that we want it to do. Again, to save your life, to either lower blood pressure or to stop bleeding and so on. But again, medications, the purpose of medication is to save your life or to get you out of pain. It's not a bad thing, but it's not for healthcare. So what the nutrients do is when we find a deficiency in the body and using blood work, something that's very scientific and it's very specific to you. So what we do, we ask the body, hey, where's the deficiency? And then we can give the body the nutrients according to the science-based nutrition protocol that we use. And then it evaluates then after a couple of months, say, is what we're doing working? You can see in the blood work that the body's changing biochemically, and so it can heal, and then there's no side effects. So thank you for that question, Jay. And any other questions here? No. Okay. So with that, I'm going to close with email here by Dr. Jeff Spencer. Dr. Jeff Spencer, by the way, is one of my mentors. I mean, he's just an amazing man. I can't really talk enough about him. He introduced me to the work that he did. Dr. Spencer was a cyclist, I believe, in this 1972 Olympics, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And he taught us the cold laser when he was teaching that at the time. So Dr. Spencer was the sports chiropractor for the Tour de France with the Discover Channel team. He was the sports chiropractor for the Radio Shack team and also the Postal Service team. And the technology that he shared with me just totally transformed my practice because this was technology that got them to 7 Tour de France's in a row. It used to be proprietary when they were using it. When he retired, I believe it was in 2008, I became so interested in it that I jumped on it right away. And ever since, we've been doing the protocol that he's been using with us. As a matter of fact, we use actually what's called the cold laser, and we're going to talk about this in another seminar. So the cold laser is basically what he used to get the adjustments, the body to hold. And you can actually, let me see here. I don't know if you can see that light. It's pretty powerful. And what the cold laser does, it has many different functions, and it allows the adjustments to hold a lot better. We can go in more detail when we have a seminar on that. But with that in closing, since I don't see any more questions here, I'm going to read Dr. Spencer's email. I think you really enjoy this. And the title he has for it is Breaking the Law of Averages. Remember we talked about the science-based nutrition? We don't want your blood work to be average. We want your blood work to be healthy. So he goes, Breaking the Law of Averages. The last thing I say to my daughter every morning when she leaves for school is, don't be average. No way, she replies, no excuses. I ruffle her hair and off she goes. So she knows exactly what I mean because we've had countless conversations about being average and how to avoid it in our family. Average means, and here's the list that he has, talking, looking, and doing everything just like everyone else, just because that's how everyone else is doing everything. Average means living life with no highs or lows, middle of the road, vanilla behavior and choices. Average means going along to get along. Average means doing things you don't believe in to get approval from people you don't respect. Average means complaining as a default mode of talking about situations and circumstances. Average means mistaking sarcasm for wit. Average means feeling blah, feeling off, and doing nothing to change it. I don't expect, this is Dr. Spencer again, I don't expect her to be perfect. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. But most people settle for living far below their true potential. I expect her to stand strong against the tide of mediocrity that threatens to drag her down. I know she can do it because she knows better and she has the tools to carve out her own space. He goes on. The problem is that most people don't. When they have a moment of clarity and decide to strive for more, they make a valiant effort to raise their game. Sadly, though, they fall short because they can't see the forest of the trees, which means they can't see what's beyond the forest. They neither know they neither know what average looks like, nor do they know what exceptional looks like. They're in a lose-lose situation, stuck. She gets stuck sometimes too, we all do, but the best way to get unstuck, I tell her, is knowing what average isn't. It isn't knowing what exceptions look and feel like. In our family, we define what not average or exceptional is. It's being curious. It's taking initiative to pursue our interest. Being above average or extraordinary, I would say, is helping others. Being extraordinary is encouraging and supporting others to be curious and follow their interests, to take responsibility for our own time, actions, and future. Again, being extraordinary and above average speaks with honesty and integrity and knowing how and when to say no. So if you're stuck, Dr. Spencer says again, in a world of average, it takes commitment to get out. But if a school-age girl can raise her game, you can too. It's worth the effort. On the other side of the average, you'll find the universe rewards you. You transcend mediocrity. You become mindful and proactive. You step into a world of optimism, enthusiasm, and clarity. In the case of average, breaking the law is a good thing. So thank you, Dr. Spencer, for sharing that with me. Very inspiring. We ran on a high with that all day long as we served our patients. And thank you for all of you watching. My hope, again, we're not here to become famous. We're not here to try to get new patients. We're here to try to share with you the principles that you may otherwise not understand or be exposed to, because our goal is to be sure that we help as many people as possible know the truth about health that they need to know that nobody's telling them. So again, next Tuesday we're off because of July 4th, but July 11th we're going to be doing a live seminar with an audience on muscle testing. So thank you for watching again, and help us spread the word, share this with other people that you know, like us on our Facebook page here. drmariano.com. Also on our website, there's a lot of information on there. We love sharing health information with you, and we just love people. We just really want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, and thank you, Jay, and thank you everybody for watching, and everybody have a good night, and we love you. Take care.